Hello, listeners. This is the third and final part of episode 2 of the Crazy Person podcast, or episode 4 overall, if you want to look at it that way. In the last episode, Robbie and I discussed AI taking over the music industry, backmasking, and more. Without further ado, I will let you, the listeners, experience the epic conclusion of a lifetime. Wink, wink. He's created so I want to read so many of his books and see the original vision.
Yeah, you would really
I
like
would
it.
love
Which
it, yes.
I mean, it's a very realistic take on like what would have happened afterwards.
And
so
he was, Philip K. Dick was
yeah, brilliant.
like he was a man of the time.
Yeah.
Like when it came to science fiction,
Yeah,
and he really knew how to write science fiction and alternate history novels, and it's crazy.
yeah.
Because that's
Those
very
are
much
very
something.
entertaining to read.
That's
too.
very much something that would just happen, you know.
Yeah.
Whether like because it would
very
be
easily could have happened.
it
You
would
know what I
very
mean?
much happen because it would like hurt America's ego,
Oh yeah,
and they would just constantly one up each other.
exactly. Like because once we won, there's
nothing else for us
and
to
they're
do.
just like,
you know?
"Oh, game over."
Yeah.
And like when it should have been like, okay, let's reach
Let's
further.
freaking reach for the stars and put our qualms beneath us.
I really hope that like in our lifetime we get a president that's like passionate about space travel.
Oh,
like because that would be great.
That would be so cool.
It's like we're gonna burn up the resources on this planet eventually.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing's. We're not. I'm sure you know about the civilization types, and like we're not even projected to reach like type 1 civilization, which is mastery of one's own world's resources until like 2286 or something like that, or it's like either early to late 2100s or late 2200s,
and that's if we can keep the world from burning themselves to the ground. Like jeez, man.
Yes,
there's always some kind of person that wants to watch the world burn.
Wants to watch the world burn. And it's crazy how that's even. It's crazy how that's even, something that is like thought into existence.
Yeah, that we have to even worry about. Yeah. Like you would think that like people would have the common sense just and like
protect the earth.
Yeah, to realize like
then all the beauty.
Because if you think about it, like the answers to world peace are pretty simple. It's just nobody will do it.
No,
it's not hard to fix the problems, but the people don't want to fix the problems. Or there's people that don't want the problems fixed because if they're fixed, then they lose out. That
means they lose out.
And it goes back to the conspiracy thing where there probably is an Illuminati.
There's an Illuminati that plans all everything. That plans all the bad about the world.
Yep. My only question is there like separate Illuminatis for like?
Sure, I can see that.
Like in China or like here and like one
from
Europe,
from different government, different nation. Illuminati is oriented.
And if there is there like is it like the pyramid? Is there somebody at the very top?
Is there a nation's Illuminati? That's the top.
Who's the wizard?
Everybody knows. Yeah.
Who's the Wizard of Oz in this situation?
Yeah, who is freaking Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah,
who's Jeff Goldblum? Who's freaking Jeff Goldblum, my boy?
I'm the wizard.
I'm the wizard. Well, we better talk about the final conspiracy. And that one is live show symbolism and hidden messages within music. Obviously, we've vehemently discussed hidden messages in music from Led Zeppelin to the Beatles to all to Prince to Freddie Mercury. All of them. So, listeners and Robbie, welcome to the part of today's journey where sound and spectacle collide. We've talked about cursed albums, hidden audio, subliminal messages, but now we step into the most public realm of all, where darkness hides in plain sight, the world of live performances. Because if there is a place where artists can embed symbols, rituals, and meanings without scrutiny, it's the stage, flooded with lights, cloaked in noise, protected by the very chaos that defines it. And perhaps that's why so many theorists insist the real messages, the coded signals, the alignments, the hand gestures, The geometric formations aren't hidden in the recordings, but in the ritual of the live show itself. Do you feel that way, Robbie? Do you feel like that bands, when they get up on stage? Because one that comes to mind for me that could be interpreted was like 2 years ago. I think it was Lil Uzi, and he had a show somewhere, and he had like this weird like animation of this robot demon girl or something like
Yeah.
that, and like it was like an opener to his show, and it was so weird and uncanny, and like I remember
Yes.
I just woken up at like 7 in the morning, and I was walking out, and it
What?
was during the summer to go to work, and I was like, this is giving me goosebumps. This is giving me goosebumps. I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but like I know exactly like the kind of thing you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like was it probably 2 or 3 years ago also, like Taylor Swift, her Eras tour
Mm-hmm.
was like a lot of people were like saying that because there's a part in the show where like people were saying that she was like bringing out like pentagrams and like doing demonic like ritual kind of things, and like I watched the video and I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't look good. Like it really looked like some demonic
That is terrifying.
yeah, and like
I never heard of this.
and if you think about it, like who better like
Then because she's literally she that like she's the only, I want to say, both out of male and female and just musician alone to have reached $1 billion net worth just by her music alone.
She easily influences more people in the world than any other artist.
Yes, very much so.
So if she were to be coming out doing like, and it's kind of creepy because if you think about it, like maybe that was one of the things like we talked about, like the things they had to do to get to the next tier to stay where they're at, like go out there and praise the devil. You know what I mean? Like
that was like one of their assignments to do is
like she had to do it. Like it's kind of scary to think about.
That, like you're forced into doing that.
Yep. Like and I you want to believe that it's not true, but like man,
it's hard to do. It's hard to deny sometimes, and it's really scary because it's like I don't want my artist to be associated with this evil, hateful stuff, that's been floating around the earth for centuries as human has grown and evolved. As humans have grown and evolved, know. But it's like stuff like that is and undeniable.
And sometimes I think there are musicians that like will use that kind of like imagery and stuff, but because it goes with their theme, like
Charles Manson
or Marilyn, not Charles. Good gravy, man. Charles Manson went above and beyond with that. Marilyn Manson definitely.
Yes, sir. I meant wrong Manson.
Yeah, wrong Manson. Sorry about that. Sorry to all of his victims. Rest in peace.
I'm sorry, everybody. I did not mean that.
Although, side note, did you know that Marilyn or Charles Manson wrote, used to try to be a songwriter and singer and stuff? He was very good friends with Dennis Wilson of the Beatles.
What?
He basically took over Dennis Wilson's house with him and his cult. Until Dennis Wilson bounced and just basically abandoned the house.
What?
The Beach Boys actually recorded a song written by Charles Manson.
What? Do you know the song?
I can't think of the name of it, but you Google it.
But if you Google it, you'll find.
Yeah, because Dennis Wilson brought it to him and they recorded it.
That's got some. That's definitely got to be up there with the cursed albums and hexed albums and cursed songs stuff. And everything.
But ironic thing is Dennis Wilson actually drowned a few years later. So but yeah,
something
going back, going back to the other thing, like Marilyn Manson, and Rob Zombie will also they'll use they'll use
heavy and grungy,
and they'll use on their stage shows they'll use more demonic kind of looking stuff, but it goes with their image. They're not but with Taylor Swift, she's supposed to be America's sweetheart, wholehearted
about started off as a country singer,
coming out to
a pop artist. Freaking comes out and does
any kind of demonic, anything stuff that looks demonic it's not on brand, so it's very questionable. It's why are you doing that?
Why is that incorporated in the show? And gosh, another famous female artist is Beyonce. Take her iconic Coachella performance in 2018. Critics praised it as legendary, a cultural milestone, but theorists, they saw something else. The triangular gestures, the stepped pyramid formations, the gold and black color schemes, the choreographed movements that some claimed mirrored ritual circles or sigil patterns? Was it artistic expression, cultural homage, or something more coded, more symbolic? Messages intended for the mainstream viewer, but for the initiated. And I mean, look, yeah, going back to Beyonce,
Yep.
she's for all the years that I've known her, I've never known her to freaking. She's known as like Jay-Z's rap wife, you
Yeah.
know, and as a celebrated female artist.
But like in the same hand, like it's very plausible considering she's with Jay-Z, who is
Very entwined,
like
with
very
powerful
entwined
people.
with the suspicion of the Illuminati
Yeah,
and that kind of
terrible
thing.
other things.
Yeah, a lot of horrible things
Yeah.
that go right with P Diddy. You know, like
Yeah.
right up there with
Yeah.
him. Like, and
Yeah.
I think honestly he probably was involved with some of the same
Oh,
stuff. It just didn't
yeah.
get drugged down like
Very
Diddy
much
did.
so. Yeah,
But
that's
I think that Beyonce has probably done some awful, terrible things.
Yeah.
To,
Oh yeah, very
you
much
know,
so.
and
I can
know,
almost
like,
see if we're going with the thought that like, you know, that's Taylor, if Taylor Swift, that was like her being forced to do it, I could almost see for Beyonce it being the other direction. She was like showing it off, especially with the people that she surrounded herself
because
with.
she's married to the king. You know what I mean?
A king.
And she doesn't seem like the type that would be like, oh, it's not too bad. Like I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
she's like, whatever I got to do to stay on top kind of person.
Yeah, I believe.
You know what I mean?
That.
Like,
I believe that in a heartbeat. There's no way that it isn't.
yeah.
Gosh, and it's just crazy because since I mean, my brother, he danced to her single lady song when like we would all dance to her single lady
Yeah.
song at my grandma's house when we'd stay the night, you know, and we did, and it's like that cheery music and like, and then reading in between the lines and all the people she's been acquainted with and all the bad things that her husband has been indicted for.
Really makes you like pause and think
like,
about
dang,
things.
That's terrible that she's influenced a whole generation.
Yep.
And it was all for nothing almost. It was all for nothing.
Yep.
I mean,
but if we fast forward a few years, then the youth will be influenced by AI artists, and everything will be fine. Pretty soon they'll be making AI movies, and like we won't need actors, we won't need any kind of entertainment people besides a digital program.
It's just terrifying because.
and then there'll be Jay-Z controlling the whole thing with a control pad somewhere.
He'll be poking it with his nose. He'll be poking it with his nose.
Freaking Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh. You know, another artist that comes to mind is Rammstein. Or Rammstein. Gosh. I said Rammstein.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a German group, and you know who's German?
Fabi.
Freaking Fabian.
Our friend Fabi would love. I bet does love.
He does love it. He showed it to me one day. He showed it to me, and ever since then, I've listened to a few of their songs, and I must say, Fabian, you do got good taste. So, thank you.
You'll have to forward that to me.
I will. And I'm sure you've heard. I don't know if you go on like the curse side of the internet, but there's like this one song of theirs where it's like, da, 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 and it's like aura farming, and like, like it's like basically in that vein. Like they play it before something dramatic happens, and like the hero appears, and like Fabian is like showing me a bunch of stuff, and I was just smiling so hard. But they got a good song. It's called Deutschland, and that's Germany, and that's Germany and German. That's Germany and German. And like it's like they really do have really good, well shot videos, and they like Deutschland is, and I'm probably butchering that, and I'm sorry everybody.
You're not German, it's okay.
Yeah. But it's like they really have well put together shows and all that, both live stage and recorded for music. I mean, Deutschland's music video was like very phenomenal. It was like showing the history of Germany basically, and Fabian was guiding me through it with all like everything that he knew. Like because his nationality is German. And
you know what's interesting to me is like to because he's like the first German person I've talked to in depth, like to get like a perspective from someone that's from Germany.
Yeah.
Like I've never like sat and talked to somebody, but like just to hear him talk about the history and stuff,
Yeah.
like I feel like the other day he was talking about stuff, and I was like, it's really interesting to like to hear it from someone like because you get used to hearing an American perspective of German history,
yeah,
which from a German's point of view is totally skewed because we put it like because the same thing that
hyper
happens
focus on
exactly same thing the same thing that happens in the media it happens in our history books. If you do some research and go back, a lot of the stuff that gets taught to kids is like cherry picked. It's like they don't teach you all of the things. They teach you the things that they think an American should know.
Yep, very much.
But like that's not the truth. Like that's not the whole truth. And like to hear some things from like somebody else
from his mouth. Yeah, it was very entertaining.
It gives you a different perspective. It's very cool.
Yeah, and in line with that, and this is getting off topic.
Yeah, it's all right. we've been all over the place.
We've been all, and
it's still conspiracy work. And more.
Yeah, it's conspiracy. It's not music that lurks beneath. It's music, freaking, and the whole world against us. You know,
conspiracies. They rap deep.
They rap deep and intertwine with each other. But I feel like Fabian's also gonna hit me because there's this. I don't remember the YouTube channel's name, but it was like a 1 hour and 30-minute video, Robbie.
I saw the first like 30 seconds of that. Yeah. I was like, I gotta go. I can't stay here and watch this whole thing with you guys.
Showed me a 1 hour and 30-minute video of like the whole history of German, but it was just told through memes and all that. And I was like literally still, even today, like it was like a recent video I watched, but that's like easily top 10 videos of all time on YouTube for me right there, because that video just had so much put into it. But anyway, getting back to Rammstein, there is Rammstein, masters of theatrical shock, fire, leather, militaristic formations. For decades, fan and theorists have dissected their shows, claiming they embedded references to ancient rites, coded warnings, or occult imagery too subtle for the casual viewer. And that fluidity is fertile ground for conspiracy, because where tens of thousands of people stare at the same stage, lights flickering, symbols appearing and disappearing, bodies moving in synchronized patterns, it becomes something beyond entertainment. A ritual, a mass ritual, even if the artist never intended it. And I feel like that is also something that could be considered the third like tier of it. If we're going with our tier system that we've set up so far, we have Taylor Swift, right? And if we're going with her sweetheart image, and she's still that good person underneath that doesn't like to indulge in bad things and everything.
Keeps her brand positive.
She keeps her brand positive and never likes to get in any drama. She is being forced to showcase occult imagery and demonic imagery going on stage and performing shows, like you said, with her freaking with her Eras tour, and I still haven't seen this video. I'll have to check it out later. But she's in that vein, if she's, good, that she is being forced to perform it. Where on the other hand, you have Beyonce and her 2018 Coachella performance, and beyond that, her relationship with her husband, Jay-Z, and all the other influential figures that he knows, and you have her, somebody who is involved with horrendous people, is like indulging it, basically, and showing it off whenever she can. And then you have Rammstein, and they're the third option, where they have they're like we said with Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
The correct Manson.
The correct Manson. Like, it's part of their image. Like that gritty, very gritty and down to earth and grungy tones that they perform. That's part of their image. And then when you get to that section, the people dissect it thinking that their image is also intertwined with their beliefs, which it is not. So then you get fantastical conspiracy theories that have no ground, because that artist and those that affiliate with them perform that image just to perform it, so that way they have brand recognition when it comes to their name being spoken. and it's very much it's like double-edged sword because
Yeah.
if the attention becomes too much, it can very much become negative.
And you know what I like? It's interesting because I feel like there are artists that use it like Marilyn Manson and like people like that
Mhm.
that like I don't think that they're using it for anyone else's gain.
Yeah,
They're using it
for
like what
their
you said,
own.
like 'cause it's their brand. But then there's like and like the longer you're alive, the more you'll see patterns. Like
Mhm.
artists will rise to superstardom, and most of the time, within a few years, they fade away.
Yep.
And like you'll
Oh,
still
yeah.
know who they are, but they're not big
They're not big
anymore.
anymore.
Like and like it could be the biggest stars in the world, like Madonna. She
Yeah.
was huge.
Oh yeah, very
And
much.
then
MTV
yep,
and then through the 80s and
Yep,
90s.
and then she faded
Yep.
and disappeared.
Mhm.
She was the biggest star in the world for a while.
Yep.
The artists that you see that don't fade and like they're not like Jay-Z is still like if you
Very consistent.
Very
yeah. Even if he hasn't
put out
released a new
anything.
album.
Very
yeah.
important. Like Beyonce, super influential still,
yeah.
and she's been around for a
25
lot
years,
longer
I'd say.
than
Yeah.
like
Any
Taylor
of the
Swift. She's been putting out
newbies.
music for like 20-some years. Like, and she's still everything she does is
It's received and
yeah,
like soaked
but,
up
like,
and gets billions.
if you look out throughout the history of music, that doesn't happen.
No.
Like you don't stay relevant for 30 years. It doesn't. It doesn't happen, dude. Like
Everybody everybody knows about the
Yeah.
Beatles and John Lennon and
Like-
freaking
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Oh, Elton John.
Elton
Is that who you're talking about? Who are you talking about? Which one? I don't know if David
Both
Bowie
of them
was.
could actually be considered. Elton John, David Bowie, like everybody knows their music.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't listen to it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know David Bowie from my literal first encounter with him was watching Labyrinth when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I don't know his music, but I know he was
Yeah.
super influential, you
Yeah,
know.
and you probably wouldn't know some of his songs if you heard them. They've been redone by people. But like, yeah, it's crazy. Like even the most influential artists, they don't typically stay relevant for 30 years.
No, they're
because
known.
so many new artists come out and stuff. So like, if they're staying that relevant,
There's something weird. going on
there's a
behind the
handful
scenes.
that stay relevant for no apparent reason.
Yes.
Like, because you can't tell me that like. I mean, Beyonce's pretty, but like she's not the most attractive artist anymore. Like these days, I'm sure there's a lot.
It's probably going to sound like I'm body shaming.
Well, yeah, no, but like
she's reaching an
Yeah.
age where it's like it's not going
she's
to
gonna
be
be like 40 something,
suitable.
almost 50, right?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. Like,
almost 50,
you-
and it's
like-
like that's not reaching anybody's eyes anymore. You know.
and like you just don't like it's so unheard of and bizarre for an artist to like stay in the spotlight for that long.
Yes.
Because like. You know, even like in country, like for country, like Florida Georgia Line was the biggest act in the world for like 3 years, and then they just disappeared.
Wait, this is crazy.
Like,
to think.
but-
That was like the mid 2010s right there. Thinking about
But you could tell me that like Beyonce, who like doesn't really put out anything of note forever, and then puts out a country album which sucks, but wins awards for it
Yep.
in the country genres, which is
We're crazy
stupid.
because
Like,
she is not primarily country.
no, and
not,
it's not
at all.
If you listen to it, it's like not even really a country album at all.
No,
But
not
like,
at all.
but she wins like Grammys
13
and shit for it
Grammys,
or whatever,
yeah.
and like it's like how.
Yeah.
Like if anybody you ask like, hey, did you like that Beyonce country? No.
No,
Like
of
if you look
course
online, nobody liked it.
I know. It
But,
is
like-
crazy how people like still like glaze
Yeah,
her. and
it's because
like,
it's because of power, like
and the
conspiracy,
influence, and
and
she's
people.
definitely one that has
Oh,
accrued
yeah.
fame after all
Yep.
the years in the industry.
Yeah,
so
between her and Jay Z, like
Yeah, there's-
I heard that Jay Z like donated or like paid a lot of money to get her like those awards.
oh yeah, I
Like
believe it.
I heard that it was like basically she bought them.
I believe it. I wouldn't. I'm not.
So,
I'm,
which
I-
is a
not
conspiracy in
surprised.
itself, but like I
Yeah.
believe it, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
and we better remind everybody that these are conspiracies.
yeah, our
So don't
opinion,
come-
our just wild thoughts.
There are wild thoughts. We're just speaking wild thoughts, but it's when you look at the parallels between the lines, it's hard to dismiss, you know,
Yeah.
because it feels like something very much is
Yeah,
being put into effect.
Yeah, why is it that only the people that are only staying relevant for so long are the people that everyone suspects of being like members of a shadow
organization,
you know, like
and being involved in nefarious and like
you know,
taboo topics. You know,
Exactly.
it's like That's not normal. That's not
But in
normal.
the same vein, that's how conspiracy theories start. Like really,
Yes.
it's like someone being
Overly
overly
popular.
successful or popular,
Yeah.
and then it like they puts them up on a pedestal, and if you're up on a pedestal long enough, people will like
Point at you and be like,
yeah,
there's something
and
wrong with this
yeah, and
person.
like why are they up there so long? How did
Yeah.
they get there? Blah 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 blah, and
Yeah.
they come up with stories, but. There has to be some truth. Like in the same, like on the other hand, there has to be some truth to stories. Most of the times, there's a thread of truth in every story.
Yes, very
So
much so.
it's
Very much so. I feel like with everybody we've spoken of, whether it is again the Abbey across the road or
mhm,
freaking Led Zeppelin and their Satan message on the door
yeah.
and Taylor Swift and Beyonce and all the things that they've done that look a little suspicious. It really does make you wonder
Mm-hmm.
why would they be trying to continue these image other than just to get clicks and
Yeah.
sub and views and all that? Like, do they really do it for that reason alone, or is there something or like
What
do
else
they
is
believe in
motivating?
something? Yeah,
Yeah.
is something else motivating them
Yeah.
to pursue these like ominous and creepy things?
Yeah.
And
It's one of the mysteries we may never know.
yeah, really, really. And that's why when they don't come out and outright explain it and they leave it unexplained, it becomes myth, ritual, a meaning layered upon meaning. I think at the end of the day, as we approach the final notes of today's journey, I invite you to pause and consider something. Music, the songs that score our lives, the albums that define eras, the performances that leave us breathless are never mere entertainment. Even in their brightest moments, they carry shadow, history, and intention. They are vessels for emotion, for memory, for the unseen currents of human experience. Today we have wandered through the obscure and the unsettling. We have traced the whispers of conspiracies, imagined the secret lives of melodies, and considered the possibility that music is not just art, but a force, a language, a living entity with its own will. From the bizarre speculation that Paul is dead, to the hidden puzzles lurking beneath album tracks, from the eerie theories of mind control through sound to the whisper of ghost artists and AI recreations. We've explored a spectrum that stretches from the beautiful to the deeply uncanny. Each conspiracy we've examined today, some fanciful, others chillingly plausible, serves as more than entertainment. They are mirrors revealing how deeply we crave patterns, meanings, and truths in the art we consume. When an artist writes a lyric, it is never just words. When a producer shapes a beat, it is never just rhythm. Every chord progression, every visual motif, every stage formation carries traces of intention, accident, and interpretation. And often, those traces are incomplete, shadowed, or open for interpretation, leaving the listener, the fan, and the historian to fill in the gaps. Listeners, perhaps the most haunting lesson of today is that music is alive in the spaces between notes, and the silences and what is left unsaid. Some stories are told, others are implied, some messages are deliberate, others are found in the coincidences that haunt studios, stage, floors, and vinyl grooves. And yet, we continue to seek closure. We want to know who controls what meaning truly lies beneath the surface, which songs are cursed, which frequencies influence the mind. But what if closure is an illusion? What if mystery itself is a message? It's that lingering, ethereal quality of music that connects it to both our personal and collective experiences. When we play a record, attend a live show, or even hear a melody in passing, we participate in something far larger than ourselves. Music becomes a vessel for memory, emotion, and meaning. Sometimes that meaning is joyous, sometimes it is painful, sometimes it carries shadows we cannot name, traces of things we cannot truly understand. And perhaps the most profound truth of all is this: music, in all its beauty and darkness, reminds us that some mysteries are meant not to be solved, but to be experienced. That reflection, that emotion, that feeling, fragile, luminous moment of connection, that is where music truly lives. Good night, listeners, and remember, in the shadows of melody, and the echoes of rhythm, some songs never truly end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to those who have stayed until the end of this three-parter. I know it isn't easy to listen to a 2.5 hour long program, let alone one that is broken into 3 parts. Furthermore, I will let you in on a little secret. Before/during Christmas break here at William Penn University, 2 more episodes of the Crazy Person podcast will be released. Until then, as I said a couple of minutes ago, remember listeners, in the shadows of melody, in the echoes of rhythm, some songs never truly end. Have a good life and a good night.